Hi, this is Chauncey Friend. I'm a senior software engineer for virtual experiences at SeekNow in the SeekNow XR team. I put together a lot of clips here to give you an example of what is possible with the productions that we do in the SeekNow XR team. So here you can see a simulation of a field inspector collecting ground truth data using the Maestro application. So this is something that our field inspectors use on their cell phones, and when they're going to a claim and they have to collect specific data, this application allows them to go through a user interface and collect pictures and text and measurements. And we also build other tools in the VR simulations to sort of help along, maybe if it's a learning scenario or an assessment. Doing manual labor in the field with a cell phone and various high-tech equipment and low-tech manual equipment like tape measures can be cumbersome if a person has never seen it before. Or if a person's trying to hone their process, it's important to be able to kind of portabilize this. So what you're seeing here was a specialized type of camera that was installed in that basement with some damage on the wall. And we were able to operate that with a cell phone in the real world, but we're also simulating it here in VR. Our team is a studio production team, so we have designers creating 3D virtual worlds, various models, assets, user interfaces, and we build our own software kit for ourselves called the Scenario Builder Kit. So this includes our interfaces for VR as well as desktop or web, using a mouse as your interface rather than a VR headset. So things like this are possible where people might come up with a concept in a meeting, and we can construct that as a three-dimensional mouse interface deployment, maybe for the web. We also like the idea of virtual classrooms, so sort of containing a lot of activity of learning or assessment within one virtual space. So what you're seeing here is a reference wall where lots and lots of pictures of real-world damage collected from our Maestro application, ultimately from our field inspectors, being basically curated so people can kind of go through that. We can also put into the virtual world or the virtual classroom representations of entire roof surfaces or sections of commercial residences or whatever concept needs to be explored. We also collect data. This is very important. So collecting data on a learner or assessing a person, like any test or quiz, we have to collect this information and feed it up to the cloud. So what you just saw there was some sort of a PIN code that represents the learner that connects the VR headset up to the cloud. As you complete these scenarios, we can present your results to you directly in the headset. Like you're seeing here, this kind of report, but on the back end of this is event data that's recorded and calculated based on some sort of key, like a quiz or a test. And then that's all JSONified right there. So that's all textual data that's recording everything that you did within the environment, and that can be fed up to a resource in the cloud or actually integrated into a learning management system to review or reflect some sort of score on your performance. So the last thing I'll say here is more of a philosophical design perspective. So when you're representing any sort of virtual world that is for the purposes of portabilizing a real world scenario where you're context switching, so opening up a cell phone and operating apps, setting up tripods, measuring things with a tape measure, the more natural this can be, the better. So in the current state of the art, we're using these $200 to $400 gaming headsets, and we're targeting sort of any headset, but specifically these days the dominant one is the Meta Quest 2 and 3. So on the back end, we're making use of the open standard OpenXR so that we could leapfrog from any headset to the next as dominant commercial hardware comes into play. And as these headsets get better and better for natural feelings, you can do more within these scenarios in a naturalistic way. So in this example, you're seeing there is an iGuide camera, or what we call a Seeker 360 camera, being used to scan this living room. And often you'll have to do things like open and shut the blinds, close and open doors, turn on the lights, shut off the lights. All of these processes are standardized, and they have to be effectively available in a virtual scenario. So that's what I mean by sort of naturalistic movement. And you saw that we had to kind of hide around the corner there. So these are the clips I just wanted to share. I hope that gives you context of what's possible and where we are within our state of the art at SeekNow. Thanks.